Hi, John McCann from Stan James, welcome to preview of this midweek Champions League and Europa League action. First of all, what do we learn from the weekend? We learned that Spurs need a penalty taken first and foremost. Spurs now 6-1 for the FA Cup, Chelsea 5-4, Villa 5-1. City 7 can't have them at all. I thought they looked very, very poor and very overrated, most of their players, I'm afraid. Fulham 10, Blues 12-1, Blues 12 when you think they played at Forest away. Got a draw, took him back to St Andrews, won that. Everton away, when Everton won a real roll. Forest were on a roll as well in the third round when they went there, and now to the Pride Park, and they won and come from a goal down late on there. I don't know, there's just something about this Blues team. I think they could go all the way, but Spurs just shows as well the renaissance of Gareth Bale. I remember speaking to a Championship manager about 2 years ago about Bale. Bale's only just 20 now, remember that. And he told me that the team talk consisted of, when he was at Southampton, stop the ball getting to the left back. Forget anybody else in the team, the left back is the threat. Such is Gareth Bale. It's nice to see him come forward. I'm not convinced yet about his defensive abilities, but he's got a real engine and he's got real pace, and he's got a wonderful sort of delivery from that left hand side. Let's get quick to the Champions League action. Barca are 3-1 favourites for the Champions League. They are not in action, of course, until next week, but quickly, they were beaten by Atletico Madrid last night. There were no Abidal, no Piqué, no Daniel Alves from the normal back four. Interestingly, though, just a couple of things. Xavi got it substituted. Now, you wouldn't expect that. Xavi had a very quiet game, then was substituted when they were chasing the game at 2-1 down. Ibrahimovic scored his first goal since early December as well. A mixture very good from Ibrahimovic, but awful lot of very bad. Messi was himself just sensational. Iniesta was good. But Bojan and Pedro played before Henry as well, so I think it's fair to say that Henry will be on his way out of the Bernabeu in the summer. Chelsea, again, who play at the San Siro next week, they're top of the Premiership, of course. They are 4-1 second favourites. Real Madrid 2 points behind Barca in La Liga. They won, but they only beat the bottom of the league rather at the weekend. Away 2 goals from Cristiano Ronaldo. They are 5-1. Manchester United, who would be my selection for it, they are 15-2. I think that is just too big. United are coming into a rich vein. Okay, they've got slight reservations still about defensively, but Ferdinand, of course, will be back from his domestic ban in the San Siro tomorrow night, and I think they will win. It's as simple as that. I think 8-5 Manchester United, can see them doing a job similar to the one they did at Arsenal. Forget Milan, they are a very sexy team, Beckham, but they're full of dare I say, people who are past the sell-by date. Ronaldinho certainly is, Pirlo and Ambrosino, good players. They are good players, but a lot of Nesta, people like that at the back. I saw them and they got involved in a very high scoring game. Beckham was excellent first game of the season, but I thought they would get at least a point against Inter Milan. Inter, of course, had a player sent off, and I just thought AC Milan looked pretty weak, and I'd be very surprised if they beat Manchester United tomorrow night at 6-4. Other games on tomorrow night. Lyon not winning French League. We also Bordeaux, of course, won it last year as well, and Bordeaux are top again this year, but Lyon are a different animal, and I think 2-1 for Lyon against Real Madrid. I think there'll be results. I just think Real Madrid are too short at 6-5. Bayern Munich, I think Bayern Munich will win and get through. I think this will be one of my bets. Laviola, no Gambarini, no Mutu, who's suspended, and McLeod over Laviola at present, and Bayern Munich flying in the Bundesliga, joint top of the Bundesliga, 8-15. I think they'll go through. Porto, Arsenal, fascinating game. Porto were good against Chelsea over in both legs, I thought, and I think Arsenal, I've got a real tough fight. 8-5 again for Porto against Arsenal. Porto are not having a great season, but they've got a decent heritage in the Champions League, of course, and I think at 8-5 they represent a little bit of value there. Quickly, as Bayern Munich to qualify 1-2 against Fiorentina 6-4, I think is a shoo-in. This is not the Fiorentina who was so impressive in home and away against Liverpool. I think Bayern will have far too much fun, despite the fact that, of course, they were top-seeded Fiorentina, so Laviola will play the second leg away from home, but I think it might be done and dusted before then. Just a bit on the Europa League. Fascinating market. Liverpool 6-1, can't have that. Unfortunately, I think this is a very, very ordinary Liverpool team, and whatever the Kop can do, they can only score about 1 goal a game. And I think, I've been so disappointed with the not the commitment and the passion that's always going to be there, but Liverpool teams have got great ability as well. And it's interesting, if you saw Atletico Madrid last night with the form of Jose Antonio Reyes, now you know why they got rid of Maxi Rodriguez. Maxi Rodriguez has got no pace. This Reyes is flying right back to his Arsenal days as well, and they look good, I must say. But Roma 12-1. These will be my selections for the Europa League. Roma 12-1, unbeaten in 20 games in Serie A. Whatever you say about Serie A, it's I think a decent standard. Not a great standard, maybe it's not as tough as the Premier League, but to be unbeaten in 20 games in La Liga and to win 9 on the bounce. Roma are in good form. Jan Arisa again scored at the weekend. They are 9-1 shots, and Benfica are 14-1 shots, and Di Maria, who's going to go to a very, very big club. We know about him. He'll play for Argentina in the World Cup as well, unless Maradona goes completely bonkers. And of course, that's about 5-6 each of 2. But 14-1 there. But I'm actually going to put up Atletico Madrid, and this pains me because, of course, if Everton get through against Sporting Lisbon and Atletico Madrid get through against Gala, Everton will play in Madrid. But I think that front four of Simao, Antonio Reyes, Kun Aguero and Forlan, very good. If you can have Thiago Motta and Asensao as well. Defensively they're not great, but the atmosphere yesterday as well, and I think they're a really good team, and it didn't surprise me one jot why they got rid of Maxi as well. And so my 3, if you don't mind, at this stage against the field, and sorry there's no English clubs in that: Roma 12-1, Benfica 14-1, Atletico Madrid at 33-1. Everton, I think, can land the odds 4-5 if they can beat Chelsea. I think they can beat Sporting Lisbon. 20 goals in 19 games so far this season in the Portuguese league, so don't expect them to play this expansive game at Goodison tomorrow night. But if Everton play with the intensity and no little ability they did, even without Pinar will be back, of course, from his suspension, but even without the very good Marouane Fellaini, I think 4-5 Everton can do the business there. But my one, Atletico Madrid 33-1. I think at the start of the season they'd probably been half those odds. I think they're coming into form at just the right time. 33-1 Atletico for the Europa League. Be lucky.